Hey everybody. I used to play my saxophone on the street as a busker for about 5 years, period of 5 years time, and it was something I did. I put a lot of hours into it. I was traveling. I lived in lots of different places during that season, and it was a nice way to supplement my income. Sometimes it was better than others, but I just thought I'd share what I made in the places that I was at. They were definitely different, and depending where I was. And so, by no means, I'm not a professional busker who makes his full-time living doing that right at the time, you know. And there are some people that do awesome at that, and they've got basically a business, and it's really refined. But that wasn't really me. I was just a solo sax player on the street. And that was it. It was kind of cool just to have my horn, just, you know, be able to carry it everywhere I go and just pop it open, make $10, go to a movie. You know, it was like if I didn't have any money for something, I could just pop open my sax and get some money. I mean, of course, there's a lot of factors, but so some people think this is interesting, and I just thought I'd share it. This was between the period of 1997 to 2001. I was in 6 countries. Subway stations all over, and I just thought I'd go through the list. So I think the first place I did it was Boston, and I played on Boylston Street. Of course, you got to do the weather. The weather is tough. You got to wait till there's good weather. I did Boylston Street. I think it was Gloucester and Boylston, but there's a spot there which is actually a pretty nice spot. And I stayed out there for about 3 hours at a time, and I would do, could be 30, 40 bucks at a time. Now, me playing a solo sax is kind of there's all sorts of factors when you're busking, depending on how much money you make. And so that was a factor. I mean, I know other people could probably make a lot more money than I did in that period of time. It just depends. It's amazing what people think is cool and what they'll give money to. It just depends. I mean, yeah. So I know that a lot of people do Newbury Street in Boston. That's great. I've seen little like jazz trios and things like that, and I was a little nervous at that time, so I went to Boylston instead. I was just kind of starting out. I wasn't ready for the big crowds, so if you're just starting out, that might be a good thing. Go somewhere where maybe there's kind of a medium-sized crowd, and then work your way up, because you know, you are being watched. It's performing. It can be nerve-wracking if you're starting out, and you know, especially if you're in an area where it's more refined sort of people, you know, who know good music, and you know, you're probably near some music schools where there's some other musicians that are just looking at you and stuff and judging you. But anyway, I also went to the subways in Boston. I really only did Park Street Station, and I think that's pretty much where I went. A lot of the stations in Boston just didn't feel right. I didn't actually see many buskers there at the time. Park Street Red Line stop was where I went, and I did okay. I don't know how much did I make. Gosh, it could have been anywhere from $5 to $25 for an hour or two, and it wasn't really consistent, and which was kind of annoying. So anyway, then I went to London. I've spent quite a bit of time in London, like 2 summers, and I played mainly in Leicester Square, and that was pretty good. I was pretty consistent there. I'd be there for 2, 3, 4 hours, and I would make 20 to 45 bucks basically. So yeah, that was what I did then, and it seemed to be pretty consistent. That was probably one of the busiest spots that had the most consistent flow of people that I've been at, and it wasn't too hard to find a spot either. So I usually got the same spot every time, and yeah. So I know if you go to London, Covent Garden is a big area. Of course, you need a permit for that, so I couldn't do that. There's some more professional buskers there. That do shows, and they play with backup tracks and all these things. And anyway, I also saw a lot of people in the subways. I believe you need a permit, and you need to audition now. They don't They don't just let just anybody. And it was amazing. I would see these humongous escalators in the subway, in the tube there, and you know, it's awesome because you got a captive audience. You know, there's people standing on the escalator for, you know, could be a whole minute. These are long escalators, and so you're playing the song, and then they have plenty of time to get in their pockets and say, I like that guy, you know, drop some money. But I didn't actually do that. But you know what's funny? I actually saw some guys. There was a guy at that time who was playing, he was like in a purple panda suit playing a trumpet, and they only played one song. I only heard him ever play like one or two songs, and every time I went through there, and it was like, wow, these guys must be bored of their minds, but they were making money. It was wild. Let's see here. I tried in a train station in London once, and I got shooed away by a beggar who, that was like his spot. That's another thing you kind of keep in mind when you're busking, is like, you know, you're competing with homeless people and people that have been there all the time or whatever, and so you kind of have to be cool. Usually I never had any trouble. Nobody ever like chewed me out or anything, but just be cool and try to work out. You got to be flexible. You got to be patient, and yeah, it can be annoying. And so, yeah, another thing about homeless people is, you know, I noticed a lot of homeless people are looking at you like, wow, I wish I had a talent like that I could make some money, you know, I could make money every day, you know, it's crazy. But, so be grateful for your skill, the skill that you have, you know. And the other thing I did was Amsterdam. Amsterdam, I was on the Kudam, and that's a big main street there. And I found the people there weren't that generous. I didn't do very well, and it was kind of disheartening. So, and I was doing it in the cold, in December. And so, yeah, if it was the same way, I wouldn't do that again. I'd just rather go sightseeing. But, you know, sometimes it's nice to just go out for 2 hours, I mean, make a little bit of money at least, and then you got a little pocket change. I met a lot of interesting people there in Amsterdam busking, though. That was kind of cool. People just stop and talk, and I met other musicians. It was really fun. And I also tried busking in Izmir, Turkey. I was in Turkey, and I just thought, well, hey, I'm going to give it a shot, you know. It's not as very well off of a country. I didn't expect to get much, and I didn't get a whole lot. But I did get some, and it was kind of a fun experience. I also spent about 6 months in Lausanne, Switzerland. Well, it was actually 3 months. And I had the best income in that place. Switzerland. Go to Switzerland, buskers. It is great. And at least it was back then. That's 10 years ago or more. And I think I made $80 in 2 hours. And I just never have seen that anywhere else. It was just fantastic. People were just throwing money, in my case, left and right. I don't remember where it was that I went. I went downtown somewhere. It was a busy street. But man, I don't know. I guess, I mean, I would imagine they are pretty well off there. And so that's a key. Go places where people have money and there's lots of people. And let's see, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin for 10 years, so that's where I have the most experience. I lived there, I was close to the spots where you busk, and that's a big thing. It's like if you have to drive a half hour or take an hour subway or something to go to the spot where you're going to play for 3 hours and you don't know how much money you're going to make, it's not very, it's hard to know if I should go or not, because it's a big, you know, you make it taking a lot of time and energy to do it. But it was nice in Madison. I was really close to where the spots were. So I would go down on State Street, and that's a pedestrian street in Madison, and so there's no cars or anything. It's nice. So I would play from 11 p.m. to like 1:30 a.m. And because it's a big party school, Madison, UW Madison is it's always voted as one of the #1 party schools in the country. So there's lots of, you know, parties, and so the bar scene and everything is really big, and so yeah, there's just lots of people that are generous and more generous than they would normally be. And drunk people can get annoying, but they can be generous. So yeah, I did okay. I mean, it would be like, I don't know, I could make anywhere from 10 to 40, maybe $60 in a period of 2 or 3 hours. And the thing that was annoying was that it was not consistent. I would do the same night of the week, the same time, one week, and make $10, and then the next week I would make $50 or $60, and I couldn't figure it out. The same people, same time. It just was weird, and so I got pretty annoyed at that. It's kind of hard. So I would just kind of look at my case. I would gauge at like a half hour, an hour. Is this worth it? Should I keep going or not? And it's just weird how a critical mass of people can be generous or not. I don't know the psychology of all this stuff, but it baffles me. But I will say, there's another thing you can do in Madison if you're curious. There's a huge farmers market there. It's very big, and it's a very cool thing to go to, and it covers the whole the square, the Capitol building downtown. It's amazing. All the farmers and everything come out. There's lots of booths. It's huge, and there are street performers there. A lot of them are not that great, at least the time I was at there. But some of them are, and I think they did pretty okay. It depends who what they were doing. I went, and the thing that's annoying with that is you have to go early and in the morning to get your spot, and that was my problem because I didn't want to wake up that early to go and to get a spot, and when I didn't know how much money I was going to make, it'd be like annoying if I didn't make anything and I put all that work into it. So I did it once or twice and I got an okay spot, but it's so wild because I would see all these people that I think they genuinely appreciated my music more than the people at night, but they didn't give me any money. It was pathetic. So it's mostly families and just people out for a stroll on a Saturday morning, and they're saving their money for the farmers market, I guess. So anyway, that was my experience with that. I can tell you, man, I played in some bands that I invested a lot of time and got paid more playing on the street than I did playing in the band, even though the band was more fulfilling and it was more fun, but it didn't pay out. So that it's just kind of a wild thing. And for me, busking, I don't know. I kind of just stopped doing it. It just wasn't very fun for me, and I wasn't making consistent money, so it was just kind of unpredictable. So, and I just didn't want to invest that kind of time and energy. And so anyway, I am pursuing other things, and I play for me, and I play for fun, and that's great for me. If something cool paying comes up, great. But just wanted to share some advice, and if you want to check out my blog post that's related to this, go to the website below. All right, catch you later. Bye.